So you have a notepad in your system. Okay. Now open it and try to type something. Now, if you're writing in Notepad, you usually don't get many options to edit the formatting of your text. You cannot do bold. Well, there are new ways you can do it, but kind of you're very much restricted on how your text file looks. That is where the markdowns come into play. Markdown is a markup language that allows you to format your text files. You can add headings, you can have bullets, add images, links, tables, and many more features you can do that we are going to see in this video. And before we do that, let us see what you can actually do with markup. Now, from a data science background, you're usually going to use markups in your Jupyter notebooks to make sure that you just don't write code, but at the same time, you also explain your code so that other can go ahead and read it too. But apart from this Jupyter notebooks and data science field, people use markdowns to write books. Yes, people use markdown to write books. The documentation. People also use markdowns for presentations, slideshows, websites, and many more features. And markdown is independent. It means it does not have any of the specific requirement. It is future proof, which means if you're using a markdown application which is no more supported, you take the same markdown file and use it in other application you can use there too. And it is very lightweight. If you go ahead and check, markdown is very light and very portable. So those are the quick features of markdown. And now let's go to the screencast and see on how you can use all different kind of markdowns inside your Jupyter notebook. And if you're someone who wants to learn about engineering, computer science, and data science, more specifically data science, then this channel is for you, and consider subscribing and coming up. So right now you can see I have Jupyter Notebook in front of me, and I have created this entire worksheet that I'm going to fill right in front of you. Some of them have already outputs, but most of them, that is the first section, I'm going to go ahead and do it with you. And in the beginning, you can see I've added some of the you can say content that when you go ahead and download this file, that I'll give the link in the description, you can follow along and also get some ideas. So usually markdowns are divided into two for two sections, or you can say in two parts. The first one is the basic syntax and the second one is the extended syntax. Now basic syntax are the one that were originally written by John Grubers in its document, and later on with the need, people wanted some more markdown, so they went ahead and created extended syntax. Now in this tutorial we are going to look at both of them, starting from basic syntax, and then we'll move to the extended syntax. Okay, now let's go ahead and see on how you can actually go ahead and create headings. Now you can see inside this workbook I have written the content. Now headings, to create headings, add number of signs as a hash in front of a word or phrase. The number of signs you use should correspond to heading level. Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a cell over here, change it into markdown, and it says I have to create heading level 1. You can see I have used a hash, and I've used one hash, which means it is going to give me output as heading 1. In the same way, I can go ahead and create another heading, but this time I'll use 2 hash, and it will be second level of heading. In the same way, I can go ahead and keep doing it until 6, which is the maximum number of headers any HTML or markdown supports. So let me go ahead and quickly do all of them. So you can see right now I have added 6 different headings, and if you go ahead and check all of them, they all have corresponding number of hashtags. I can say just hash that actually defines their size. Okay, now to run this, I'm actually using shift enter. Now let's talk about paragraph. Doing paragraph is pretty easy. All you just have to do is create a new cell, change it into markdown, and just simply write a normal paragraph. For instance, I'll just go ahead and quickly copy paste. That is, I really like using markdown. That's simple, as simple as that. And I'll press shift enter. So you can see I have this paragraph over here. Now you can see this is actually also a paragraph. It says to create a paragraph user. Okay, I was supposed to okay, never mind. Let's go back. So I was actually supposed to uh no, to delete a cell you do double D, and I was supposed to create a cell over here and then paste it. That's right. So to create a paragraph, use a blank line to separate one or more line text. That's simple. Just create a cell with a markdown and just paste any of the content. It will become a paragraph. You can also do line breaks. Now, line breaks are pretty simple. To create a line break, that is BR, and a line with two or more spaces, then type return. Pretty simple. I'll come here, create a new cell, and I'll just write two lines over here, change it into markdown. Here you can see I have pressed enter over here, and this is the second line. That's it. Now I can get two lines. Moving forward, you can also go ahead and add emphasis on your text, that is bold, italics, and both of them. To get started, you can see it says to bold a text, add two asterisks, which is star or underscore before and after the word. Now I have this sentence. What I'm going to do, I just double clicked it to edit it, and I'm going to bold this. Now to bold this, it says add two asterisks. I'll do two, and over in the end also, if I press shift enter, you can see that text is bold now. In the same way, I can also do for the italics. For italics, it says you need to go ahead and add one asterisk. So double click to this text, one asterisk, and over here one asterisk. There are other ways too. You can also add underscores, but the best practice is to go ahead and use asterisk. In any case, you want to go ahead and have both italics and bold. What you can do is you have to see, it says to emphasize text, bold, italics at the same time, add three asterisks. Similar, I'm going to use three. So this workbook is pretty nicely written. You can just go ahead and read the hints, and that will just help you to go ahead and to complete this worksheet. Now, black codes are sometimes very important to go ahead and maybe highlight a particular section of your uh, mm, document. So I'm going to come here, change it into markdown as always, and I'm going to paste this dummy text, and it says add angular bracket, or what is it, greater than. Okay, let me just add greater than and press shift enter. So you now see I have a black quote inside. Now to go ahead and have a nested black quotes, what I can do is it says add double less than. Okay, what is it, less than or greater than? I'll say it angular brackets. As simple as that. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the nested one is I'm going to have this simple again. I'm gonna have create a new cell, change it into markdown. Oops, delete this, delete double D, double times D. I'm gonna paste this, come here, then again do it, then do, and then again paste a dummy text. So I think this will give me an output of our nested block. Shift enter. So you see this is inside this. Pretty simple. Now let's go ahead and look at the list. Now we have unordered list and ordered list. To have an ordered list, just add line items with number followed by periods. Pretty simple. The numbers don't have to be numerical, but the list should start with the number one. It says you need to start with number one, and it will just give the output. I think I believe this is just normal thing to do, as just write one. You can say first item,
then second item, third item.
I do not know the spelling of item. All right, let me fix it. Okay, now this is it. I'm gonna press shift enter. You can see now it shows in the ordered list. Very simple, nothing fancy. But in any case, you want some indentation. For instance, you need one to be nested within each other. What you can do is double click, and maybe I'll just come here and do, and I'll say intended item, and then intent item. Okay, so now that's done. So you can now see I have one nested within the other. Okay, so that's ordered list. In the same way, you can go ahead and do with unordered list. The only difference is now that you don't write 1 or 2 3, whereas for unordered list you use dashes. So let me go ahead and not this one. Let me create a new cell, change it to markdown, and write. Okay, maybe what I can do is I can just simply copy these. Why should I waste time? Okay, no, never mind. So I have now written 4 items with starting with dashes. Now I press shift enter. It gives me the output as this. In the same way we did with the indentation, you can also do the indentation with the unordered list too. Now let's go ahead and talk about the code. Now code is sometimes you want to go ahead and maybe just add a br tag. For instance, I did go ahead and do, you see, I have to create a line break. I have used this br tag, which is actually a piece of code, or I can say just a piece, right? A small chunk, not even chunk, I should say piece is the right word. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and do that, you have to enclose it with the backticks. And how do you do it? Very simple. I'm just going to write this one at the command prompt type. Now I'm going to use this backticks and nano. You now see if I go ahead and press shift enter, why didn't you? Okay, that wasn't a backtick. That's not called a backtick. Come on, this is called a backtick. Oh, near to your escape and next to number 1. This is the backtick. There you go. That's a backtick. Now if you want to go ahead and just write a word that is as a code, you use backticks. But for instance, you want to go ahead and add a code block. So what you actually do is I'm gonna create a new cell over here. You actually, for instance, you have this HTML. You'd have to give an indentation. It says indent every line of the block by at least 4 spaces or 1 tab. So I'm going to select this, press tab, okay, and then shift enter. Now do one thing, try to do it without shift tab. That will be pretty interesting. I have done it and you might see some empty spaces, but I would allow you to go ahead and explore that part. Okay, next thing, you want to add some horizontal lines. You can see to add horizontal lines, what you need to do is you need to go ahead and add 3 asterisks. Simple, 1 2 3, shift enter. See, I now got a horizontal line. Now let's talk about links. Links are pretty interesting thing to do. To create a link, and enclose the link text in a bracket, for example YouTube, and then follow it immediately with the URL. Okay, so for example this, so I'm going to create a new cell, change it to markdown. That's super important. I can go ahead and say I post videos on YouTube. Now it says the text that needs to be the link should be in the square brackets. So there you go, I have added the square brackets and immediately followed by URL. Okay, so I'm gonna follow the URL, okay, inside the parenthesis, and I'm going to write https youtube.com/Stephen Simon. Simple, shift enter. So you now see the text YouTube has become the link, and the actual link is Stephen Simon. So you don't see this link because that link is actually this YouTube. I'm going to press shift enter. If I hover on the bottom left of the screen, you can find that is the URL. You can also add some of the titles. For instance, if someone's hover over it, you can actually, now you can see, now if I hover, I actually don't see anything. Okay, but if you want to go ahead and make sure that someone hovers over it and it gets a tooltip, you just need to enclose the parenthesis out. Okay, you can optionally add a title for link. This will appear tooltip. Okay, to add a title, enclose it in the parenthesis after the URL. All right, I got it. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this one. It says to put it inside a parenthesis, paste, and here I'm going to come and say my YouTube channel, shift enter. Now if I hover over it, you can see it says my YouTube channel, whereas where I have not added the adding titles, it doesn't say anything. So that's the benefit. Now let's quickly talk about the URLs and emails. To quickly turn a URL or email address into a link and close it in the angular brackets, pretty simple. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a link. Oh, now what is the link? Let me just go ahead and let's use YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to use the angular brackets, and inside I'm going to write youtube.com/Stephen Simon. In the same way, they say you can also do it with the email. So usually my email is a.stephensimon@. I use many of the emails. Shift enter. Oh, why didn't it work? So the email worked, but not the URL, because most probably I need to go ahead and maybe give it this way. Yeah, now it works. You can see I now have the URL and the email, and I think if I click on it, this will open my local email client. So that's pretty cool thing to do. Okay, now what is this? Type markdown on latest is cube. Okay, I think I kind of messed something. I don't need this cell. Go shoo. Okay, now to add the images are pretty interesting. To add images, add an exclamation mark followed by alt text in the brackets and path or URL to image assets in parentheses. You can optionally add a title after the URL in the parentheses. Simply, so first I need to have an image, so I'm going to go on my desktop, copy this, see users, this one, and now Jupyter Notebooks. Now here I'm going to create, you can see I have my here Jupyter Notebook file. I'm going to create a new folder, call it assets. Okay, and here I'm going to paste my image file that I have. Okay, I'm going to copy the name of the image, come back, now create a new cell, change it to markdown. It says start with exclamation mark. Okay, makes sense. Now it says in the square brackets type your YouTube thumbnail and the path of URL in the parentheses. Very simple, the same way we did with the uh, other things too. So this is the path. I'm going to say assets slash Jupyter Lab tutorial dot, what is it? What is the extension? Jupyter Lab tutorial dot jpg dot jpg. Shift enter. Ooh, it didn't work. Why it didn't work? Okay, I got the mistakes. Okay, I got. You need not have a space over here. That's super important. You should not have space within the directory name. So I actually had space in that image. So now if I go and run it, no, it still doesn't work. But why is that? I have assets. Inside assets, I have Jupyter Lab tutorial. Rename it. I already have this. It's the exact same directory that I need, but I also have one at the outside. I can maybe go in and rename it. How about I try the one that is outside? That should be interesting. Let me come over here. What if I don't want the, okay, that works, so the for some reasons the assets folder didn't work, but I did try. Actually it usually works, so I don't know why it didn't work right now. Maybe I had to go ahead and restart it, my kernel, my Jupyter notebook. So the image that I've shown now is over here. I actually copied it and also pasted it outside, so this is the image that I'm showing right now. So yeah, so you can see the image actually works. Now what you can also do is you can also have some links to the images, and that's pretty simple, that you go ahead and add this in a square bracket. Now we'll double click it. It says to add a link to image and enclose the markdown of image in bracket and then add link in parentheses. Okay, hope we can do it. Paste it. It says this needs to be in the square brackets. Okay, the entire thing, and after this parenthesis end, I need to go ahead and add link. Interesting.
I need to go ahead and add a link over here. So what should be the link? Let me go ahead and take this link. All right, I didn't ask you to open. All right, that works. So you can see now when I hover to this image, I actually see the link at the bottom left. You see now, if I click, there you go, it opens my YouTube channel. Hey guys, this is my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe. All right, now that was about the basic syntax. Now let's go ahead and try to do some extended syntax, which I've already written. Now extended syntax was the one that people actually needed. They needed, like, okay, this basic syntax is not going to work, actually we need a little more. So a community went ahead and added few more of them. The first one to get started is with the tables, where you use hyphens to create each column and pipes to separate each columns. And if you want, you can also go ahead and add pipes at the end or at the beginning. So if I just need to go ahead and see the raw text of any of the output, I just double click it, and there you see hyphens for the column header, right, and pipes for the each column. So that is how you go ahead and do it. Now for instance, you see everything is, I think, not aligned, but in any case you want to align your table, what you can do is you use these columns. Now this is on the left side, so everything here will be left aligned. If it is on both the sides, it will be center aligned, and if it is in the right hand side, it will be right aligned. So if just shift, you can see this is left aligned, this is center aligned, and this is right aligned. Now we did see the code and code blocks. Other cool way to write code blocks is the fenced code blocks. These are pretty fancy these days. You can go ahead and create your fence code blocks, because sometimes people just don't like to go ahead and press indentation, the tab that we did. So if you just go ahead and double click it, you see I have used 3 4. No, what is this? Now if you see, I have used 3 backticks and then the code, and the output looks something like this. Now, but in any case, if you want to go ahead and have this color type of formatting, depending upon which programming language you use, after you create your first 3 backticks, you can actually define, is it a JSON, Python, or whatever, and then it will change the color according to it. Here it was JSON, so we did it, it shows the color. The definitions are very similar to now the actual output. You can see into definitions over here. These are kind of list, but more with a heading and then some content below it that belongs to that particular heading. Now if you go ahead and do it with the markdown, for instance, if you see the actual markdown to do this is this column separated by space, then heading. But this actually doesn't work. I tried it, but you see it doesn't work. But if you go ahead and do that in HTML, this actually works. And by the way, everything that we did until now, it can be definitely done in the HTML itself. But I like to keep it simple and try to do it in Markdown. So if you want to go ahead and create a definition list, it won't work in the Markdown. You will have to go ahead and do it with the HTML, and you press Shift Enter, and that's it. It works. Strike through. Now, if you want to go ahead and maybe have a strike through of a text, I don't know why you would like to do that, but let me just go ahead and create a markdown. I'll say this is going to be a strike through text, tilt, 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 shift enter. You can see that emojis is pretty interesting, that you can add actually emojis. Now to add emojis, there are a couple of ways, but my best way I'll to tell you is pressed window and dot. When you press window and dot, you can go in and find all the emojis. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this heart and this and whatnot. Okay, so if I press shift enter, you can see you can have the emojis. Now automatic URL linking, many markdown processes automatically turn URLs into links. For example, if I just go ahead and write this, let me just, I have not tried it actually. If I just go ahead and paste this and press shift enter, you see it automatically turns into a URL and you don't have to do it actually. So that was it with the markdowns. Now you can do many more things. You can add some creativities. You can, as I said, you can also create websites. That's it in this video. And now let's go to my face.
So that was all in this video. We did talk about different type of markdowns. You have basic, then extended. I would suggest you to go ahead and practice this and try to use markdowns when it's needed inside your Jupyter notebook. Having said that, I upload videos these days a lot related to data science. So please share this video, like, and please don't forget to subscribe. And my name is Stephen Salmon, and I'll see you in the next video.